Morning everyone, it's Father's Day here in the UK and I've been making some films across the last couple of days. I've been off the air somewhat in recent weeks because the stuff I've been doing is stuff you've seen lots of times. You don't want to see me just polishing engine cases again, and you don't want to see any more CL350 stuff in the immediate future, I don't think, because I've done so much of that. However, all of my bikes have arrived from America after a considerable delay from customs at both sides and a screw up from the shipping agent and one thing and another, but they're here now. So I'm going to show you what most of the bikes look like. There's a couple I haven't shown you which I'll catch up with on a later video. But let's have a look at the bikes that we've got now. I'll make a decision on which one I'm going to do first, and then we're going to go and take an old friend out for a wee ride. But that's the kind of stuff I've got in the can just now. And in the next weeks we're going to be doing a lot of stuff across various different makes and models of bikes that I'm sure you'll find interesting. There's some really good stuff in there. So let's have a look at the bikes first. It was a really windy day, so forgive the wind noise. It was a glorious day on Friday, very hot and sunny, but with a tremendous wind blowing, so there's quite a lot of wind noise in the camera at times, which I did try to avoid, but I'm no cameraman, as many of you have remarked before. One does one's best. So here you are guys, enjoy the film, and I'll speak to you soon, and let's get into these bikes. Okay, there's two or three of these bikes behind me and quite a lot that I'm going to show you now in the container. So let's have a look, and you can see the kind of stuff that you tend to get in when you've been buying blind, if you're a fool like me, or you've taken chances with people's word, which sometimes pans out and sometimes doesn't. It's just the nature of what we do, and it's just human nature. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, here we've got a CB504 from 1972. At first glance it looks like it's really quite pretty. It's actually not, and I really paid up for this, so we've got quite a lot to do to it. Now let me just show you please for a start. The wheels are pretty short, so they need replacing, re-chroming, rebuilding, whatever. The exhaust look fine, but when you get down close, they've all had a weld done to them. They've all had this back end being grafted onto the front of it. Why you do that, I'm not sure. However, the state of the alloys, not great, but that's neither here nor there. Front brake calipers seized, which is always the case, and the chrome around the clocks is short. Fork legs, pretty bad way. Having said all that, this bike will come back. So the main problem is the wheels and the exhausts. As I say, I really paid up for it, but there's still enough margin in it that I think I'll be okay. So that looks okay. Let's look at this little fella here. I bought this one very well on the basis that, as you can see, the engine's disassembled, but I bought it because it had two full sets of exhausts with it, and the exhausts are absolutely like rocking horse shit. So good thing about it, bugger all miles on it, 8,000 miles, and the rest of the bike is actually really nice. It's not run for a long time, but I didn't buy it to break it. I bought it on the basis that I could probably bring it back, and I'm more certain than ever that I can. The pistons are well seized into the barrels. Okay, we'll deal with that. But I'm quite pleased with it one way or another. I know it sounds daft, but I am. This bike's going to be okay. Here we are, something pretty looking thing, the Bmw R90. It was bought as a non-runner, that's fair enough, and I bought it reasonably, I think. We're not sure yet, but as you can see there's a spark plug snapped into the cylinder and cylinder head, so the head will need to come off, but you can see someone's been in there before, so the jugs have been off. What that means, I'm not sure, but the rest of the bike is actually in really nice condition. Headlight missing, so what? The frame's really nice, not a lot of miles, paint's a bit scabby, so what? So it's all about what we find when we get in there. It's got that 2-into-1 exhaust on it, but I'm sure if I can get it running, I'll get some nice exhaust and put it back to being absolutely original. The seat's in spanking shape. I'm pretty sure it's been dragging a chair, because look at that tyre, come on! So it's been dragging a sidecar at some point, but I do think this one has every chance of coming back. So I'm going to take this down home now and across the next few days we'll pop the cylinders off it and have a look in there and see what we can find. What else have we got? That's my KTM that I've been all over the place on. That's been in Morocco and Russia and Kazakhstan and Mongolia. In here, the light's getting a bit poor in the container, but CB754. I'm assured it's a runner. I've bought lots of bikes off this guy before. He's a smashing chap from Wisconsin. Low miles bike. Paint's pretty horrible, but you know, I was told that when I bought it. But generally, with the exception of the fact it's got these nasty 42 megaphones on, which I don't like, it's really, really nice. The chrome's nice, and I bought it reasonably well. So this is one that's going to be okay. I'm quite pleased with this. That's my own Kawasaki behind me, so you know that I brought it down here because I need the space at home. What we've got at the back, we've got another BMW which is thoroughly grim. I hope you can see this. I will fish this out and let you have a proper look at it. It's much nastier than its little friend outside. But let's get it out and let's not judge it too harshly just yet. GS550 Suzuki. Quite a tidy little bike. Seats missing, and the seats are very hard to find. 20,000 miles only. Kicks over nicely, good compression. If I can find the seat for it, I bet this will crank straight up. And we'll have a win. Well, let's just one step at a time. And this is L450. Now, these are my favourite bikes. Excuse me, let me just come around this side for you. These are one of my favourite bikes, if not my favourite, the CL450. It's very peculiarly dressed, but as we've seen before, you know, it doesn't pay to be too critical of these things, as I'm the man that wore flared trousers and platform shoes back in the day. The bike was bought in 1970. And clearly the man's bought it, he's just watched Easy Rider and he wanted a highway cruiser like Peter Fonda, so we got these peculiar bars fitted in the sissy bar and the cruiser pegs. And you know, it's the style of the time, and you know, as I say, I'm never too critical of these things. I've not been on the road since 1990, 32 years, but we'll give that a whirl and we'll bring that one back. Chrome's nice. And the engine's free with compression, so that aside, all the kind of all the dressing, we'll get all that sorted. Let's have a look in the other container. Am I spoiling you with all this stuff? Well, XT200. I do a competition in Spain every year, and a little touring would be fine for it. Bought it well enough. Another GS750. This was seized by the police because it was involved in drugs trafficking. Fantastic. So little CL350, this will be fine, no matter what, it'll be fine. And behind CB650, and it looks dog rough, that's because it is. But once again, I bought it for nothing. I want to bring this bike back. It's got dead low miles on it, miles I think. And all this, you know, I'm going to give that a clean up. I'll pressure wash the whole thing off. The exhaust with it, which is great. Now, maybe it won't come back, but I'm going to give it a whirl. And if it doesn't, I'll get what I paid for it in bits. And what we call in Britain, Maggot, which is a CX500. Again, 0 miles on it, 5,000 miles. And I just feel this one's going to be okay. Everything's there that needs to be there. The exhausts are good. It's been standing for eons, clearly, looking at the amount of crud and dust that's accumulated on it, but this will all clean up. I'm quite looking forward to having a go at this. The brakes are seized, yes, so what, aren't they always? There you are, 5,100 miles. The clutch feels free. I've had a spin with the wheels, it finds all the gears. I'm quite hopeful. But this is one for much further down the road. First I'm going to do some of my quick wins and get some cash back from the amount of money I've got lying in. So let's go and have a look at some more. Right, we're back at the old homestead now, and there's a couple here I'll show you as well, and then I'm going to make a decision on which one I'm going to do first. So let's have a look now and see what we think. Right, here's a little KZ650 SR, 78 bike, bought as a project, and it actually it's all there. Everything is actually there. It's got a nasty 4x1 on, which I don't like. It doesn't run. Now, none of them run, but this was sold as non-runner with a problem. And I've had a look in, and what I can tell is there are no compressions anywhere. Now, you can lose a compression, but you don't lose 4 compressions ever, unless you've been in there poking about and done something you shouldn't. So you can see the gasket compound there and there, you know, just when it's, you know, someone's been in here. So we'll have a look and see what's what there. I may just sell it on as a project because I don't think it's going to take a lot of sorting out. I suspect the valve timing's wrong, but that may have damaged valves and things, who knows. But I'll sell it at a cost that reflects that, because these make good money when they're done. Not lots of miles, more than I'd normally buy, 31,000. But as you can see, the paintwork's really nice and it's all there. So I think that must have real potential. This is our old friend that you saw last year. This was one that had the 4x1 on it. It had a 4x1. It was a bit tired and sad looking, but a fantastic engine with electronic ignition and various other stuff. So we couldn't get the front caliper, if you remember, for it, because it had the wrong calipers fitted to the bike, but that's the correct caliper I have now. It came in my delivery from America, so I've rebuilt that and painted it and put it on the bike, and it's super now. So I've got proper brakes now. We couldn't find the front header in the UK either, so although I got all the rest of the pipes, I couldn't get the header. So I got a header in my delivery, and now it's all together and it runs like a top. So I'm not taking it out for a ride yet, but we'll do that together. And here's a couple more. Right, the one furthest away is a refugee from Chips. I'm standing in the door of the garage because it's very windy just out the front there, and the microphone will pick all that up. So I'll just come this far if I dare. Maybe a wee bit gusty, but I think I dare try it. Normally I tear all this stuff off, but this bike is so nicely done that somebody might want it as it is, and it's such a lovely bike. 13,000 miles, runs like a top. If I could criticise it, the guy lied to me and said the exhausts were not blown. Well, both are blown, but I'm going to put that down to ignorance or just not quite understanding my question, because he said the tank was leaking, and the tank isn't leaking, so the Lord give it, the Lord take it. But look at the chrome, you know, it's beautiful. This is such a nice bike. You know, it's a really lovely bike. As I say, I don't like this kind of stuff normally, but it's just so well done. I'm probably going to leave it as it is, and I'll sell it when the tank comes back from paint. Here we have GS750, nice enough bike, and I can probably get it to start for you. Hang on, just to see. Hang on. One of the exhaust bolts is loose. The brakes are seized, which is quite common. I've got them off because I couldn't roll the bike, but they'll free off quite easily. And all this stuff needs polishing up. And unfortunately, the exhausts are blown on this as well, which is a real problem for me. So I don't know how I'm going to get some, and I don't like putting anything on that's not bog standard. You know, it's kind of what I do. I make them absolutely original. But anyway, one step at a time. But it is really quite a nice bike, and low miles. What is it? 18, is it? 18,000 miles, and that is going to make a nice bike when it's done. I'm just going to get around this exhaust problem. So I've shown you quite a few of these. You know, between what I've got in the container and what I've got at home, I've brought the little BMW home, and that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to put this up on the stand now. I'm going to pull the cylinders off it and see what I can find in there. The front brake was seized. The front brake is secured on these bolts like a fancy Jubilee clip, and the brake wasn't working. But it freed off very quickly, and it's a super brake. BMW aficionados will know, you know, that once you get the engine out, you basically got a frame and some wheels. And that's always the case with every bike, but it just seems more apparent with BMW of this vintage. So I'm going to get this to bits. So let's get it in there, let's get it up on the stand and pull the cylinders off it. Right guys, we've got this R96 up on the bench, and it's actually a much prettier thing than I might have expected. The master cylinder sits there, and it seems to be held on by nothing more than a glorified Jubilee clip, hose clip. But the brakes were seized, but I soon got that freed off. We've got a super brake up now, and the frame is in absolutely super condition. I'm sure it's pulled the chair because there was a bracket there which has put a mark on the paint, and I don't know where else it might mount, but I'm sure somebody that's more au fait with BMWs than I am will know that. You know, everything that the frame at the back's really clean. All around here it's just in really nice condition, and the engine looks pretty good. The issue we've got here is this spark plug, which is snapped in, which I'll show you now. You can see there. Now I don't know how hard this is going to be to get out. Clearly whoever did this before thought it was beyond their capability to get it out, but I'm not put off as easily as that. You know, I'm sure we can get that out. So I'm going to pop this cylinder off. The Americans call them jugs. I am still a teenage bloke at heart, so big jugs. There better be some jokes about big jugs, so forgive me those guys. So look at the condition of that. It's all absolutely spanking, and I'm really, you can see how the rust is with the overspill from the master cylinder there, but the alloys are really nice. And all in all, look at that tyre, it's fantastic, isn't it? Overall, you can see there's not much under there once you get the tank off. So I'm going to pull this off as well, because this has been off, and they've clearly thought better of going any further, so I'm going to have a look in there and see what I can see. This rocker cover here was just held on by a single screw, just to stop it from dropping off in the road. And I've got this off. As you can see, there's no valves, rocker gear or anything else in here. But what I have got, that came with the bike, is a big bag of bits. And I've not tipped this out to have a look yet, but when I do, and that'll be soon, we'll tip out on the bench, we'll have a look at it together. But I've no doubt that everything we need to get this thing up and running will be there, and a £10 note as well. So let's see if it's all in there. You can see the cylinder head's only held on by a single nut there, as opposed to having, you know, the correct kind of mechanism to secure it. So, moment of truth, let's see. You can see the old broken spark plug in there. I've no doubt we'll get that out. And the pot is pretty rusty inside. But nothing that won't polish out. I don't see any particular damage to the piston head. I'll let you have a look at that in a minute. I'll just pull this off if it'll come. Right, there's no piston rings on the piston. That might explain the lack of compression, what do you think? But none of this is insurmountable, and the good thing is I'm not getting any movement there. So let's carry on, guys. I'm going to pop the other side off because I'm curious like that. So we're going to pop the other side off. Let's have a look in there and see what we can see. This is the other side, and the rocker box is just held on there by a single screw. So I'll pull this off, and once again we've got the same situation here as we had the other side. So the jug is just held on with that, and there's no valves and stuff in the head again. I hope I'm going to find them in that bag. So it is once again the same scenario there, and piston again, rusty but not too badly marked off. Let's see will the jug come off. Yeah, once again no piston rings on that. Okay, but there's no movement. Hang on, there's no movement on that bearing, so that's good news. So anything that's to do is all top endy, so I'm not discouraged by any of this. So let's tip out that bag of goodies on the bench and see what we can see. Okay, let's see what's in the bag. My push rods, hurrah, 4 of those. Cylinder base gasket, a couple of cylinder head gaskets. Battery cover bracket, okay. Earth strap, exhaust gaskets. Don't know what that is yet. It looks like it's something that might go underneath the. Might go there somewhere. I don't know. We'll find out. But no piston rings, no valves. Okay, so that stuff we've got to get. And there's a extremely valuable spark plug there, which I'm sure we'll make use of. And there's the errant spark plug with a broken piece that's in the cylinder. Okay, jolly good. All right, guys, you know what I know now. I'm going to get these parts measured up. I'll get the parts measured up for to find out what size the cylinders are. I'm absolutely sure they'll be standard. Get some standard piston rings, 2 inlet and 2 exhaust valves. I need the springs, all the rest of the stuff, rockers. There's tons and tons of stuff missing, but there's a place very local to us called Motorworks, and they specialise in BMW bits, new, old and refurbished. So I'll maybe have a ride. I'll make a list of everything I need, have a ride over there, and let's see what I can come back with. I'm sure we'll get pretty much everything we need without too much trouble, but onwards and upwards. Okay guys, keep watching.